The atmosphere at Nkranza in the Bono East region is very tensed as the community accuses police of killing an innocent trader in a suspected armed robbery incident. Albert Akwesi Donko, who's also a footballer and digital television installer, is said to have been picked up by officers from the Nkranza Police Command in an unregistered vehicle on suspicion of being an armed robber and shot on April 25. The family of the 28-year-old trader says it will not renege until justice is served. Uncle of the deceased, Reverend Dr. Matthias Sarkodie, has been speaking to my colleague Ohim Interior of our security desk.
We want to seek justice for Albert, and we want to use Albert's incident to put a halt to some of these incidents. When they picked him, they thought Albert was nobody. But when the issue cropped up, they have seen that Albert has people backing him. And I can say confidently that the MP from Nkranza South is the father. The father died, they are brothers, and he inherited the father. So they later got to know that they have touched a wrong person. So as a family, we want to seek justice for Albert and get these issues halted in the country in order to live peacefully. We don't know the next person they are targeting, so we have to use this one as an opportunity to redress the issue in order not to pick another person again. And me, I think the police, some of them were involved in the armed robbery. That is what I'm thinking. All those who went for the armed robbery, they knew them. So with Albert's presence, or when they failed to shoot Albert over there, they had to go for him in order to destroy evidence. So that was why they picked him. So we want to seek justice for Albert.
Speaking to the mom, she did indicate that no amount of compensation will be enough to compensate her for her loss, so she won't accept any compensation. Is it something that the uncle will support, that the family will not accept any monetary compensation or whatsoever?
Excuse me, it's very early to jump into that conclusion. Now it's life which is lost. We have to go through the court proceedings in order to seek justice. After that, as a family, we will sit or come together and consult our lawyers to know what to do.
When you talk of justice, what exactly are you implying here?
That means the perpetrators should be brought to book. We should know those who killed him. We should know the reasons why they killed him. We should know the circumstances which led to his death. So after seeing all those things, if the government or the judiciary has any suggestion or anything at all, we will sit as a family, either to pick whatever they want to give us as compensation or to deny it at all. So it's very early or premature to jump into compensation issue in order not to have the justice we are seeking.
But I'm surprised to hear that the police officers came in an unregistered private vehicle to pick your relative.
Yes, that was what the mother told us. Deep in the night, around 2:30. The vehicle they brought over here was not a registered vehicle, and it wasn't an official vehicle of the police. The mother was even about to join them, and they took the vehicle away. I thank God, the investigators from Accra, from IGP's office, when they came, I told them, one of them told us, why Albert should have gone to the police station to report, to report the issue. He made a mistake by not reporting, and I told them it was by divine intervention, Albert decided to come home. We wouldn't have seen him anymore. So God directed him to come home in order to meet the mother, at least in order to get evidence.
Let's cross over live to the community and also listen to the youth that is blaming the police for injustice.
The people of Nkranza are very traumatized, mostly the youth. If you just look around, you can feel it. Currently, I am feeling it. I feel like it's Albert today, but tomorrow, who is next? It could be me. This is not a Nkranza issue. This is a national issue. Please, men that we are paying with our taxes, Those who are in uniform to protect us are now the people that are turning back to harm us. The youth are angry, but we are calming things down. If not, they will have been violent, there will have been chaos, but we don't want a situation or a scenario that we will lose another life. We don't want to lose any life. Albert is the only one that is going to die out of this, and it should be the end. The streets we will hit. We just want justice. We have to what? Display our displeasure. Tomorrow, being Tuesday, the youth want to just display with placards. It's just a peaceful one. It's a march. And we will present a petition to the IGP, and that petition will be presented to the police. The same way we will petition the president through our MCE. The same way we will petition our Nananom, talking about the traditional council and the Queen Mother.
Back here in Accra, today, May 16, 2022, there will be no free lunch in school for basic school pupils benefiting from the school feeding program. Over 500 members of the School Feeding Caterers Association have suspended cooking and porters of low feeding grants provided by government. Although the School Feeding Secretariat has hinted of a meeting to address the situation, the caterers will not back down until they see change.
We are not going to cook. We are not going to cook until we hear something from them. We need our payments, number one, and we want increment too. So we are not going to cook on Monday.
How much do they owe you?
2 terms. Payment is you cook 1 term, and another term when you are going to end the 2 terms, then they will pay you. So they own us 2 terms. How can we get money to cook on Monday? How can we get money to cook on Monday?
The children are not going to eat on Monday. How will they feed?
We don't care. We don't care.
The caterers want the feeding fee increase from current 97 pesos per pupil to 3 cedis. Juliana Kujo is president of the Caterers Association. Siba Alpha is also PR of the School Feeding Secretariat. They spoke with me earlier.
We are aware of their concern as they addressed the press yesterday regarding some upwards adjustment of feeding grants. So we are on it. We are trying to gather all the facts and see how we'll be able to work on it. They have made their demands. So management and then the school, the Minister of Gender, Natural and Social Protection, school feeding management, and including and then the Minister of Gender, that's the sector ministry for the school feeding. I think they will come out with a comprehensive statement on that.
We can now listen to Juliana Kujo, who is president of the Caterers Association. Now, the association is meeting government this afternoon over their concerns. The president of the Caterers Association, Juliana Kujo, says the outcome of this afternoon's meeting will determine the way forward. Let's go to the Upper West region and speak with correspondent Rafiq Salam. Rafiq, what is the situation in that region? What can you tell us in the schools?
In the Upper West region, I have visited a handful of schools here. And I can tell you that the picture is the same everywhere. The caterers have abandoned their kitchens. They have been deserted, and almost all the schools that I have visited, the kitchens look more like ghost towns. And I tried to speak to some of the headmasters here, and they told me that they also saw some of the caterers that came around, tidy the place, tidy the utensils, and then told them about the internet strike they are embarking on today. And so the caterers are not at post, and even had information that even some of the caterers were not even at post as of last week when our school reopened. I tried to inquire from them about the effect these particular strike is having on the pupils, and they told me that sometimes some of these pupils depends on the school feeding program to even come to school, and so once they know that they don't have food, by 11, 12 they're out of school. And so the effect on the pupils here is very negative.
Have you been able to speak with some of the pupils themselves? How do they feel about the situation?
I tried to speak to one of them, and he told me that the situation is really bad in the region, even concerning some of her colleagues who was run home. But let me tell you, Aisha, the positive aspect of it is that food vendors at the various schools are now cashing in on this absence of the caterers. I have gone to some of the schools. You can see the students are crowded at where they are frying yam or other places. And so the food vendors at these various schools are not the ones making the most of it. And those who don't have money have to go home.
Certainly, the outcome of today's meeting will show us the way forward. Rafiq Salam is my colleague in the Upper West region with those details. Now, 10 basic schools in the Burase-Bukwama-Nkese district in the central region are at risk of being closed down. The schools have become death traps, posing danger to teachers and pupils. School authorities and pupils are appealing for immediate intervention to avert any tragedy. My colleague Richard Kojo-Nyakon has visited a number of these schools and has put together this report.
Public basic schools in the country just reopened for the second term of the academic year. And the joy of every school pupil is to return to school and sit in a safer and a comfortable classroom for lessons. But that appears to be an expensive commodity for some school pupils here in the Burase-Bukwama-Nkese district. For most of them, their already weak buildings they were studying in before the vacation have collapsed, and that leaves them with very little option.
As you can see behind me, this is the classroom block housing the KG and the primary. Before school vacated, the upper part of the structure was ripped off by rainstorm. We managed to roof it, but 2 days to the reopening, the entire block was ripped off again by rainstorm as a result of the weak nature of the structure.
Samuel Butchie is the head teacher of a Saman AME Zion Basic School. He says the school is overwhelmed with the weak nature of the structures and the fact that the school pupils would not have a good place to learn.
Because of the poor nature and the dangerous nature of the classroom, we have managed to secure temporal permission from a church where the students are, the primary students are currently staying, but they are not learning because there are no chalkboards or marker boards for them to learn. And the size of the church itself, it is not conducive for all the desks to be put in there. We don't have ICT, say computers for ICT. There's none. We don't have any. Electricity source to the school we have, but it is not all that stable. It fluctuates. A lot of challenges.
Nancy Abio heads the Mori DA Basic B School. A visit to her school revealed cracks on the walls. The roof of the story building the children are studying under has been ripped off, but nothing has been done for many months. When it rains, disaster strikes.
The floor and the beams are all coming down. I quite remember one of the teachers was around when they fixed a window, and the window also came out just because of the rusting of the hinges. So the children are in danger because even in the classroom, you realize that the beams will be falling in bits, which is affecting learning. When it comes that way, the teachers and the children find it difficult to stay back in the classroom. Then, around to the compound, you can see that one of our old buildings, the first building, has also sunk. If I say it's sinking, it means it's still going. But this one, it has gone down. So anytime it rains, it flows over to the veranda and then enters the classroom to spoil the books that you've stored. And that makes the school to be out of session for a whole day, because you have to collect the water from the classroom and then tidy up all those things that have been soaked.
This is also the Strafa DA Basic School in the same district.
Consumers of water and electricity are asking the utility companies to significantly drop their demands for upwards adjustments in price of water and electricity. The PURC is engaging the public for the first time as part of the process to review tariffs. Utility providers say their businesses are on the line and only an increase in tariffs will keep them in business. My colleague Justice Beidou is at the University of Ghana, where this forum is happening, and joins us live with more. Justice, tell us what the utility companies have been telling their consumers.
So Aisha, it's been from one appeal to the other, coming to VRA, Gridco, and as I speak to you now, we have the Electricity Company of Ghana making a desperate appeal that their request for an increment in tariff be accepted by the PURC and then also by the people gathered here who are here basically to make input or ask questions from the utility companies that are here today to basically justify the demands that they are making for an upward increment. It's been basically just recounting their cost of production and how many of the components that make up the cost that ensures that they are able to produce power, for example, for ECG, water for the Ghana Water Company, have gone up in the last few months and would definitely require that they demand more money in order to be able to stay in business. The case has been made by Gridco, for example, that says that it is almost impossible that they could be in business going forward if the PURC turns down this new request that they have made for an upward review in their tariff. Aisha.
The ECG, for instance, is demanding a 148% increase. The Ghana Water Company Limited is also asking for some high cost there because they say their business is on the line. Are they considering, if not drop their demands, are they considering to actually bring the cost down? I mean, in terms of increase that you're looking for from the PURC?
Yes. Those who have spoken already, VRA, Gridco, and as I speak to you now, ECG, have already indicated that they would be open to reduce the amount of money that they are asking for, depending on the consensus that is reached after these engagements are done. However, they caution that it has always been the case that they have never gotten what they have asked for in terms of tariffs. Anytime they have asked for a certain percentage, they end up getting not more than half of what they always ask for. And as a result of that, they always need to go back to their drawing board and readjust their work. And that in turn comes down to affect how productive they could be and how they are able to manage the resources that they have. And so they caution that, yes, they know that times are hard and that these may come tough for many utility consumers. But the reality is that they would really struggle to stay in business if these new demands are not met. And they struggling means that your power is not going to be stable, that your water is not going to run through the tap. Aisha.
Justice Beidou is our man at this forum with PURC engaging consumers. We'll be bringing you more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's go back to our earlier story where the youth of Nkranza demanding justice because they say the police is perpetrating injustice on the people there. We're crossing over to speak with my colleague Ohime Nteria, who is in the community for updates. Ohime, who is Albert Akwesi Donko and why will the police actually target him?
Yes, thank you, Aisha. Albert Donko is a 28-year-old trader who deals in second-hand shoes and also sell ice water. He's also a footballer, and we are told beyond that he's also a digital satellite TV installer who visits residents in their homes to render services to them. What we are picking on the ground is that somewhere in April this year, whilst returning from Drumankese to Nkranza in the Bono East region, he chanced upon a robbery scene and he saw some of the perpetrators in that act. So on 24th of April this year, he actually divulged information to a friend that he saw some police officers allegedly being involved in that robbery incident. The next day, that is 25th of April, at about 2 a.m., whilst asleep, a group of police officers in an unregistered private car stormed the house and arrested Albert Akwesi Donko in that regard. So he was sent to the Nkranza police station, and later the family says it took them 3 weeks for police to tell them where Albert has been kept, and that they kept tossing the family between Techimai, Nkranza, Ajura, and then Accra, until they got information that Albert Akwesi Donko has been shot in that regard by a group of suspected armed robbers.
Say that there's tension in the area following the killing of the deceased Albert. How is the police dealing with this matter?
What we are learning is that the Inspector General of Police has sent a delegation to meet the family and the community, and that delegation was accompanied by the Bono East Regional Minister as well as the Bono East Regional Police Commander to calm tensions in the community. But after the meeting, the youth in the community believes that police are trying as much as possible to conceal information and, wrongly accuse somebody who has been going about his lawful duty. So they are planning what they describe as a peace march tomorrow, Tuesday, where they will present petition to the regional minister through the MCE, IGP, through the Nkranza Divisional Police, and also the traditional authorities here, so that they get justice for the late Albert Akwesi Donko, who they say has been, a good citizen in the community.
In Nkranza, he's been monitoring this story for us. We'll definitely bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Kojo Mensah Abrampa, says they have not been left out of the COVID pandemic and overall economic downturn, as they have had to scale down on their programs due to budget constraints. Speaking to Benjamin Akakpo in an exclusive interview on the Joy News channel, the Director General said it has become imperative to cut waste.
We have our fair share of it, because we need to slice down on our budget and replan and review to be able to contain the priorities that we need to take through this year. This is the time planning becomes, very practical, because then you need to look at your resources and what you need to do to keep you going, and that's exactly what we've done. It's something that reflects the country, and it reflects globally. Everybody is cutting down everywhere. Prices are going up. Whatever you budgeted for with a certain quantum cannot be able to fulfill, and therefore you need to find a way to accomplish the prioritized area to keep us going. And it's important. What we are doing here is also helping us to look at how we can reduce waste in general. Although we expect a certain minimum of waste from any process, here we're looking at virtually going to a 0 point so that we can optimize the resources that we have. And I think that it reflects what we are doing nationwide too. Everybody is talking about the budget cuts, avoiding waste, reducing travels, reducing energy use, and all these are things that for NDPC we've been doing it even at the good times.
Right.
Yeah, so as to optimize our budget.
So it's nothing new for you then?
For us, it's nothing new. It's professionally, that's our work, and then we bring it to bear in whatever we do here to avoid ways to prioritize at any given point, go through a process of looking at alternatives and picking out the best.
Right. Have those budgetary cuts, though, hit you in a bit of a bad way? I mean, what has been the impact as far as the NDPC is concerned?
I think that for us, we've reprioritized. We are now looking at those things that are mandatory constitutionally to be able to respond to that and also respond to our international obligations. And these are key things that we need to do. So we backtrack a bit of some of the research activities we're doing.
Okay.
We backtrack a bit at things that will look deeper into the future. But things that we need to do regularly, like our projections and using our model to project the implications of some of these things, you need to put in resources there. Whenever you get to a situation where there's a bit of instability, then you need to be able to, that's what planning is, identify the alternatives, identify new data, and then do new projections, develop different scenarios as to how you can contain the situation. So that's where we are focusing now.
The Association of the Youth and Young Adult Development has equipped some youth in Nima with the hope to prevent them from getting into social vices that pose threats to the country's security. 2 university students, a primary school pupil and another were given various financial support to see them through school. Others who were into caring for orphans were also given financial support. Gifted Corris has more.
At an event to give the various support to the beneficiary youth, President of the Association of Youth and Young Adult Development, Yababa Mohammed Dawood, said the youth are the country's future leaders. Failure to harness their energies for the proper venture could lead them being targets for radicalization.
AYYAD, since its inception, has been supporting young people with entrepreneurial skills development, funding for entrepreneurs, scholarship for young people from class 1 up to the university, and then support for orphans, poor, and then the needy. In October 2021, AYYAD brought people from the United States of America who are coming from an organization called Getting In by Getting Out. That organization is an organization that is in charge of developing the capacity of young people who are going to be productive in Ghana. Such thing has happened here in Accra. 300 people were trained in Accra, and then 300 people were trained in central region of Ghana who became satisfied Gogi reps who, to a large extent, are helping to disseminate message of peace, are helping to disseminate message of empowerment, are helping to also train young people who will want to be trained. What we have done this morning here was to empower young people with an amount of $12,000 US. $12,000 US was shared among young people. Some receive it in cash, some receive it in kind. Those who receive it in kind are those who received tailoring machines, or what we call industrial machines. We've also supported some 4 young people. Among them, 3 of them are female and 1 of them is a male for their educational support. Out of the 4, 3 of them are in their universities, 1 from University of Ghana, 1 from University of Cape Coast, and 1 from University of Professional Development. These young people have requested for school fees or scholarship from AYYAD, and then some have been given up to $374 US, some have been given up to $320 US, and then some have been given up to $310, and the last person was also given 500 Ghana cedis, who is in his basic school.
Patron of the association and security analyst, Erbad Ibrahim, gave further reasons for the institution and support program for the youth, particularly those in the Zongos.
The essence of this group is to empower the youth and also help with, judicial, reform. And so people who go into prisons or get incarcerated eventually are not turned into people who are in an academy that hardens them to be worse than criminals. So the group is into reform, into entrepreneurship. It is into equipping the youth with the needed skills so that they don't become liabilities to society, but they become assets. So when the group came to Ghana, I took them to the Youth and Sports Minister. There was a good interaction, as well as the Director General of Ghana Prisons. What they are doing today is that, of course, no 2 ways about it, there is a nexus between youth unemployment, poverty and marginalization and insecurity. with all the things happening around us, in Burkina Faso, Boko Haram in Nigeria and others, there is a fear that the Muslim community may become a target of radicalization. So therefore it is important that the youth in these areas are equipped with the necessary skills to get engaged, because the devil will always find work for the idle hand. So they are given scholarship prizes so people can pay their fees. Instead of roaming about in the community, they can be in class. They are equipping people with tools to start doing their handiwork. So those who are into tailoring are getting tailoring machines. They are giving motorbikes to people.
Still on youth development, the General Secretary of Tabital International Ghana Chapter, Yakubu Musa Barry, is accusing government of not fulfilling its promise to provide aid to the over 200 people who were displaced in ZAKOLI in the Yendi municipality of the northern region after gunmen attacked 3 Fulani communities. The gunmen killed 8 people, injured 4, and touched several homes, burning their belongings and foodstuff.
Speaking at the final funeral rites of the 8 who were killed in ZAKOLI, Mr. Barry said the displaced continues to sleep in the open and wondered what happens anytime it rains.
It's very, very unfortunate that the government is not paying serious attention to these people. They kill their husbands, their brothers, 8, and they left behind mothers and children, their wives and children, and even up to the vice president promising through the regional minister that he will send NADMO to do assessment and give them a relief items till date. Today is 1 month, 2 days. This thing happened on the 13th April. Today is 15th. When I got here, I get sad. Because I'm imagining, if it rains, where do they go? If it is in the night, where do they go? How do they sleep? NADMO came here on the 18th and gave them mats and mosquito nets. How do mats and mosquito nets sleep in the opening if it is raining? We came here and we saw this tent. These tents were fixed just on the 17th after the incident, and it was not from NADMO, rather a Red Cross. They put about 3 tents. These tents too are not very stable. When the wind blows, it lifts them. You will see some of them are even blown up. So I'm asking, are we not also citizens of this country?
Delivering a speech earlier, Mr. Barry gave an account on how Fulanis came to settle in Ghana to dispel the notion that Fulanis are not Ghanaians.
The Fulanis came into Dagonland in the 15th century. It's unfortunate we did not get the traditional rulers here so that I can establish it very well. But a short story. The Fulanis were the second foreign indigenes that arrived in Dagon in the 15th century. During the reign of Na Loro.
The Deputy Director of the National Peace Council in the Northern Region, Nuhu Abukari, called for the redefinition of perceptions about people and tribes, which he said influences attitudes.
As we urge you to restrain the groups and urge them to live peacefully and live within the laws of the land, we are also telling all Ghanaians that there is no group in Ghana. The Gumbes, Kunkumbes, Gunjes, as well as Mamprusis, we all have deviants among us. And so we should avoid ascribing anything to any other group. Just as there is no one who will wish to give birth to a thief, there is no Fulani nor the Gomba parent that will want to give birth to a thief. And there is nobody who will be interested to harbor or keep any bad element within their ranks. And so we are against any stereotypes or any prejudice against any group of people.
We're still live on Joy News today. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. It's time to do business here with me, Beverly Broom. The Ghana Investment Fund of Electronic Communication has established and switched on almost 760 rural telephony sites for the implementation of the National Roaming Policy. The initiative, which aims to expand internet access as well as voice clarity, will boost the economies of rural communities across the country. Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Eslo Wusu Ekufu, made this known during the climax of the Girls in ICT initiative in the Bono region in Sunyani, where 1,000 basic school girls were taken through ICT training.
To sustain this program beyond today, I encourage the Regional Coordinating Council to take ownership of the program and develop continuous learning activities that will build on what these girls have been taught over these past few days. I also urge the Regional Education Office to ensure that coding clubs are established in all their schools to encourage the girls to deepen the skills they have acquired and to transfer them to their peers. I'm happy to announce that from the Bono region, the Girls in ICT initiative is moving on to the Ahafo region. And I've received good reports of and seen how enthusiastic Awo Batampa and her team have been towards this initiative. It was impressive. But Ahafo claims that they are coming like Kakai. And they will outdo you. So take note.
The minister also called on school authorities to support the participating girls in developing skills in science and technology.
The lessons learned from that partnership between 2017 and 2019 made government decide that even 400 in 2 years was too slow. We needed to do more and extend connectivity to all parts of the country.
Traders at the Kejetia market are calling for the dissolution of the Kumasi City Markets Board and management of the facility for failing to address challenges affecting their operations. Chairman for the Federation of the Kumasi Traders, Nana Kwesi Prempe, says despite huge services charges, they are not receiving the needed services. Here's more.
Over 10 trade unions at the Kejetia market met at the center of the facility to discuss issues inhibiting the smooth running of their businesses. Accessibility to some areas of the market, high utility bills and service charges, as well as insecurity were major concerns. Chairman for the Federation of Kumasi Traders, Eric Nana Kwesi Prempe, says despite paying over 51,000 Ghana cedis monthly for insurance, management has failed to support traders whose wares suffered flooding at the market. Installed CCTV cameras are not working for the past 9 months, though the traders pay for their maintenance.
With regard to the service charges that we pay in this market, of the service charges, we have security, fumigation, garbage, and then cleaning. So the security company, with regard to the security, there's a CCTV maintenance component, which we are paying about 137,000. Now, it's 13,748 every month for CCTV maintenance. Meanwhile, there's no CCTV in this market that is working for the past 9 months. Yet we are paying for it.
That's all for business now, but we have more business stories coming up on the marketplace at 1 p.m.
Good afternoon. Time now for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. After 10 months of investigation, the Ghana Football Association has finally delivered its verdict on the alleged match fixing between Inter Allies and Ashanti Gold, a league match that was played on July 17, 2021. Let's take you through the chilling accounts of how the match between the two teams were fixed, and per the evidence that was assembled by the Ghana Football Association investigative team, they say that the match which was played on July 17 between 12 and July 19, there were phone calls between the president of AshGold and one Nima on 2 occasions, and within the same period, Nima also contacted the Kwesi Frimpong 6 times, whilst Nima contacted Emmanuel Frimpong 9 times. Emmanuel Frimpong is the chief executive officer of AshGold, and they said during these discussions, Dr. Kwesi Frimpong offered Emmanuel Nima 10,000 Ghana cedis because he wanted to manipulate the outcome of the match to get a perfect score of 5-1 to advance his betting objective. And subsequently, they made the payments to Nima via a mobile money merchant by name One Isaac Quest. The first payment was 2,000 Ghana cedis. Subsequent payment of 2,194 Ghana cedis was the last one, was 5,000 Ghana cedis that was paid to Nima. Nima is said to be someone who is a sympathizer of Inter-Allies, and this is why the Ghana Football Association felt that he played a key role in getting the match fixed. However, one gentleman who was at the center of all this, Hashmin Musa, had said that he was going to pour sand in the gari of AshGold after rumors had emerged that the game was going to end a perfect score of 5-1. One player within the Kumasi Asante Kotoko setup, who is a former player of Inter-Allies in the person of Richmond Lamte, he has been banned for 30 months by the Ghana Football Association because he played a crucial role in getting the match fixed. But the Ghana Football Association, he gave his phone number to someone to call so that he could fix the game because he felt that the game had been fixed. These are some of the evidences the Ghana Football Association has put together leading to the sanctions. And now the sanctions are that the president of AshGold, Dr. Kwesi Frimpong, he's been banned from football for 10 years. The chief executive officer of AshGold has been banned from football for 8 years. They've been fined 100,000 and 50,000 Ghana cedis each. AshGold itself has been fined 100,000 Ghana cedis by the Ghana Football Association. And the last one has to do with Hashmin Musa, the man who was at the center of all this. The Ghana Football Association had initially decided to sanction him for 24 months, but the committee decided that he will be sanctioned for just 6 months because it was his role that brought up this matching fixing issue that has gotten them at this point. Inter-Allies has also been demoted to Division 2 and fined 100,000 Ghana cedis, with its head coach Felix Abuaji and team manager in the person of Ruben Ajeti all banned from football for 24 months each. And this is how we wrap up sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. You can go on to my Joy Online and read the details of the stories. We appreciate your company. Up next is World News.
And you're welcome to Showbiz. So last year at Wilderland, that was supposed to have King Promise on, his face was used for the billboard and promotion, but King Promise actually didn't perform. Well, this Saturday on Showbiz A to Z, King Promise actually had a clash with the CEO of 3 Music Award, who was also the organizer for the Wilderland, and they thrashed it out. But George Quay tried to make them smoke the peace pipe. First off, let's listen to what transpired in the studio as they had the clash.
Sadiq, hold on. Look, for me, I don't like these kind of banters. I am about solutions. So for you, you're saying because of what has happened in the past, which you have mentioned clearly, that disrespect did not come from King Promise himself. You have mentioned that. Let us establish that
I want
fact.
you to ask him if I've ever disrespected him.
Yes, no, he's already made that clear. Sadiq, you're there, right?
George,
you said
I am making
clearly.
the point to you that this is a talent. I have a relationship to you. He's actually mentioned that Proud to Kill Beat and the guys, he knew me. He knew I was actually meant to manage him.
Exactly.
He
I
knows
know.
that. We started
And I know
work
that too,
on
yes.
But beyond that, George, let me just land. Beyond that, I'm saying that even if he hasn't disrespected me directly, he's making the case that I should have called him. But he also could have called and reached out and say, Charlie, Killer disrespect you, but I'm sorry, say this, that. But beyond that, Promise is actually doing an interview.
I didn't even know the extent of all this thing until I saw your thing on the internet. I had no idea the extent. So if you thought it had gotten that far, where I needed to get involved, because obviously
you couldn't confirm. You go on radio to co-sign what Killer said.
Excuse me, bro. Listen, I don't talk business. I don't talk money. I don't talk car. I don't talk nothing. All I talk is go and sing, and I sing, and then my management handles the rest. If you've had a disagreement or you couldn't reach a bargain, you say you know me personally. All you could have done was like, oh, bro, I'm hard time me. I'll tell him, because I told them, bro, try and make sure that we do this thing for this guy, because I know him. But when I realized that this thing had gone past what it has gone past was when my man was on the TV, on the radio, was saying so many things. And I saw the tweet first. I was surprised. I'm like, what's going on here? But you could have also told me, just like you said, I should have called you when I didn't even know what was going on. You're saying they've done this to you, that to you from time. It's like there's some anger somewhere, personal vendetta. I don't know what it is.
So that was Ken Promise, musician Ken Promise, and CEO of 3 Music Awards, who also happens to be the event organizer for Wilderland, having the clash on George Quay's show, that is Showbiz A-to-Z on Joy 99.7 FM. But that was not the only thing. George Quay made sure that they actually smoked the peace pipe and they, moved on from there and also called a truce.
George, like I said, I don't have a problem, regardless of the disrespect. I've indicated to you how last week I was on King Promise's team to ensure that his song Ginger, they do not allow it to lie low. I should tell you that, beyond everything else, I don't have anything, but I've indicated to them that, and I'm not the first person. I am aware, King Promise knows about KB's disrespectful behavior to industrial people over time. He cannot, over time, take himself out of KB's disrespectful behavior to industrial people. Going forward, what I will expect, and I've said to them, I've said to Rasmus and Co, is that they need to be able to handle that. Because I'm not the only person that I have such a stance against Promise because of KB's behavior. So for me, I let everything go. Like I said, we never banned King Promise's video. Has been playing. Sometimes even if they do not even send it, we find a way to get it to be co-signed and play it. It was nominated in the awards. You know me, even if I have to book an artist.
So as it stands now, there is actually a truce between King Promise and Sadiq. Well, Aisha, over to you.
Good news to hear that. And that'll be it for the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjournline.com. You'll get updates of all the stories and updates on all the developing stories. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our programs.